Hello, hello, and welcome back to SharonBeMakinStuff. I have literally not said those words in over a year. And the last time I checked, I think it was over a year ago that I uploaded a video on this channel. And if you're wondering where I have been this whole entire time, the answer to that is teaching. And I don't know if you're aware or not. Well, I don't know why you would be because I've never told you guys, but I did start a new YouTube channel called SharonBeTeaching, where I post a lot of teacher vlog style videos on there, lifestyle, education related videos. So just wanted something a little bit more pertinent to what my life literally revolves around nowadays. So if you're interested in following me on that journey, then you can hop on over to SharonBeTeaching and subscribe to that channel. I mean, like, you don't have to, but like, it'd be really nice if you did, just saying. Okay, all right. So today's video is going to be a little bit different. I am fully aware that we are all kind of stuck in a self-isolation quarantine limbo. So I celebrated my birthday this past month and I couldn't really go anywhere or do anything, so I decided to bake myself a birthday cake. I just realized so many years on this baking YouTube channel, I have never once uploaded a cake tutorial, which is bizarre. I don't know why, I just always shied away from the idea of baking a cake on here, I guess. But today's your lucky day because you get a cake video. Not a tutorial. It's not a tutorial. I'm not showing you how to do it. I'm just showing you me baking it. So if it turns out wrong, you can't come at me. All right? Okay. All right, friends. So if you're ready to join me on this cake baking journey, I need you to hop on board and hold on tight. Don't fall off your seat because we are gonna get started. So to prep my cake pans, I'm just smearing what it looks like to be a little bit too much butter on there. And then I'm going to toss some flour. And apparently that is supposed to prevent the cake from sticking when I have to go and release it. So here I am weighing out my Oreos, probably adding one or two more than needed in the recipe and sneaking a couple in the process. But let's be real, they're Oreos. You can't go wrong with Oreos. And all I'm doing is chopping them up into smaller chunks, and I'm going to be adding it to the cake batter later. So to start preparing the cake batter, I'm going to sift all my dry ingredients together, and then I'm going to mix all my wet ingredients together, and then I'm going to move over to my standing mixer and whip up that butter nice and good until it's light and fluffy like all the recipes always tell you to do. And for some reason this one tells me to add the flour first, so all the dry ingredients into the butter. Probably has something to do with activating the flour with the wet ingredients. That's what I'm assuming, given my amateur baker knowledge. And later I add in all the wet ingredients and I mix all that together until I form a nice smooth batter. And here comes the best part, boys and girls. This is adding the mix-ins. So this is when we dump all of those Oreo chunks into the batter and we mix it all together. All that goodness. Mix, 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 mix. So now it is finally time to dump all that delicious looking Oreo batter into our floured and greased cake pans. And make sure all of them are leveled and evened out, and they should be ready for the oven in no time. So as you can tell, I was only able to fill up 2 8-inch cake pans, which I don't understand why I went ahead with that anyway, because the recipe clearly asked for 6-inch, and I thought, you know what, this is gonna work, but I didn't even bother making alterations and I just went ahead with it, because you know what, we're rolling with the punches and we're gonna see how it turns out in the end. So the next thing you're gonna do, okay. I tell you it's not a tutorial, and then all of a sudden I start talking and then it sounds like a tutorial. I don't know how that happens, it just does. But literally the next thing I did was just throw those in the oven, set it to 350. You know what? This one was not at 350, surprisingly. Everything always bakes at 350, except for this cake. This one was a special one. This one was at 340 degrees Celsius. Don't ask why, I'm just following the recipe. Ding, ding, ding. So the cakes look like they're ready. I do the whole toothpicky pokey test and it turns out great. So I take them out of the oven and I let them cool. Okay, so I tried to do a little experiment here. This one, as you can tell, was the one with the cake strip. This one didn't have a cake strip because it wouldn't stay on. But if you look at the level of the cake, it looks exactly the same to me. What in the world? Does this only work with an aluminum pan? Someone tell me, because I'm not sure. They look the same. Look at that. I can't even tell the difference. So here I'm just doing the whole flippy cooling rack thing so the tops don't dome and then the whole thing cools flat. So it's easier to cut later. So because my whole DIY cake strip fiasco did not turn out as I planned, I still ended up with kind of a thick crust with my cake layers, so I had to shave it down a little bit. So here I am just shaving off the top so it's easier to stack later, and I also had to shave off the crust, kind of like a ring around the cake layer. So later when we eat the cake, there's no weird textures when we bite into it. So now it is time for the filling. So for this cake, I decided to do an Oreo whipped cream. Something super simple. I just I whipped together some whipped cream, some icing sugar, some vanilla flavoring, and dumped in a ton of Oreo cookie crumbs. If you've never had Oreo cookie crumbs just by itself, like, it's actually really, really good. You guys should try it. I tried it on yogurt the other day and it was surprisingly delicious and it tasted exactly like ice cream. So, or a McFlurry, I should say. So with my cake layers, actually, I wanted a better filling to cake ratio, so I ended up slicing my cake layers in half again, so I would have 4 layers. And after that, I just slapped on a bunch of bunch of cream filling into each layer, smoothed it out with a spatula, and then repeated the process until I had something that resembled a cake. So at this point, my cake started to look like a giant stack of pancakes. Was I worried? No, not really, because I knew the whole thing would get covered up with more cream anyway, but I just thought it looked really funny. Anyway, for the outside cream, it was the same thing. I just whipped up some more whipped cream, but I added less of the Oreo cookie crumb this time, so the color would not turn out as dark and it would just look like a nice pretty little Oreo speckled cake, if you catch my drift. So then I proceeded to add more whipped cream all the way around the cake to smooth it out, and you can tell that I'm not the best at this part. It always gets kind of messy for me, but it's so much fun and I love doing it, as long as the cake tastes great in the end. Am I right or am I right? Okay, so this is the best part of making a cake. It's the decorating part, my friends. So I loaded up a piping bag full of the same whipped cream I used for the outside and just piped little dollops all over the top, making sure they're evenly spaced. And then I took some Oreos, I cut those in half, and then I stuck all of those little Oreos in the spaces, alternating between dollop and Oreo, dollop and Oreo, dollop and Oreo. You get the point. So for the finishing touches of the cake, I just took more of the Oreo cookie crumbs and just sprinkled that all in the center of the cake. And then I took some really pretty pink and purple and blue and gold sprinkles and decorated the outer ring of piped whipped cream dollops. They're not really rosettes. They're not really florets. I don't know what they're called, so I just call them dollops. And to make this cake look like the real deal, I transferred it over to a 12-inch super glittery, super gold cake board because why not? Also, huge shout out to Mr. John Canal, aka Preppy Kitchen, for the Oreo cake recipe. It was very, I'm gonna say it, moist and very delicious. So thank you for that. The rest of the cake was inspired by my own creativity. So I hope you guys liked it and hope you enjoyed it. So that is my Oreo cream cake that I baked for my own birthday this year. I celebrated with one candle and my family singing happy birthday to me, along with a couple of friends that actually joined me on Google Duo for that. It was a lot of fun. I mean, definitely different, but still very memorable. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. So that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching me bake myself an Oreo cream cake for my birthday. It was an absolute blast to make and an absolute treat to enjoy as well. I hope you guys liked it. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up, and if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to SharonBeMakinStuff. And I have not said those words in so long and that felt so good. Anyway, I hope you guys are also doing well, staying safe, staying healthy, staying at home. Yes, yes. Hopefully I get to see you guys sooner than later, and I will talk to you in my next video. Bye!